For all the best tips and strategies, check out the Ultimate Utility app. Links are available in the description. When you prestige the Armored Division for the first time, not only do you unlock the MG42 LMG, but you also get the basic training skill called Hunker. The in-game description states, early grenade warning and take less explosive damage. It also mentions there's a bonus where the fuse of a frag grenade is reset on throwback. So right away, this is more or less 3 abilities in one skill, although 2 of the effects are relatively minor. Hands down though, this is one of, if not the best basic training skill in the entire game. I wouldn't make such a bold statement without backing it up with substantial evidence, however. So let's take a look at what makes this skill so great. Now, most of the Division Reward basic training skills are just a fraction of their Division's abilities. For example, in my last video, I covered the Inconspicuous basic training skill, which is the reward for prestiging the Mountain Division. Now, the Mountain Division at level 4 gives you completely silent footsteps, and that's in all manners of movement. The Inconspicuous skill, however, is much weaker. You can find a link to that video in the description as well as the outro. So needless to say, I just assumed this Hunker skill would be the same way. The first thing to test is the Flak Jacket effect. We need a baseline to compare to, and that's going to be the Armored Division. So if you level this up to 4, you'll receive the ability to, quote, take significantly less explosive damage. The first test is against a normal frag grenade. My friend Jeremy chucks it, and I stand right over it and take the full brunt of the blast. As you can see, it doesn't kill me. Now to further illustrate this, I had him kamikaze himself with the grenade with me embracing him in a non-homophobic death hug. Again, as you can see, I survive. Just to spice up the variation a bit, we also tried the Satchel Charge. I stood right over it and still managed to survive the explosion. So as you can tell, this is incredibly powerful. It all but makes you immune to a single explosive item. Now granted, you are taken down to next to no health, so you'll be a sitting duck if the enemy follows it up with a bullet or 2. Still, with the grenade spam in this game, surviving most explosives is incredibly helpful. Now I said most explosives because there's still a few things that can kill you. I should first mention that 2 explosives in a row will still do you in. You'll survive the initial blast, but the follow-up will obviously drop you in your tracks. The other downfall to this Division ability is the Sticky Grenade. If you find yourself on the receiving end of a pincushion, you're toast. Likewise, eating a bazooka in the dick will also do you in. Only a direct impact will have this effect though, so if your enemy doesn't have good aim, you'll still survive. The dreaded Inconspicuous S-Mine will also kill you in a standing situation only. However, if you either crouch or go prone, you'll still survive. Now lastly, I tested all the score streaks that I deem to be explosion based, and they'll all still kill you. That includes the Carpet Bomb, the Glide Bomb, the Mortar Strike, and a Direct Impact Molotov. So that was our baseline. Now let's take a look at the Hunker skill itself. The first thing I wanted to test was the Kamikaze Explosion. Much to my surprise, I again survived, which is a good indication that this skill is on par with the Armored Division's ability. Now what about if I get hit by a frag grenade first and then it explodes in my face? No matter, you'll still survive. Everything I tested with the Armored Division ability is identical to the Hunker skill. So that means you'll still die from a direct impact by a rocket launcher, as well as being stuck by a sticky grenade. Although, if the sticky grenade doesn't actually stick to you, it'll act just like a frag grenade and you'll survive. Likewise, all the score streaks will still kill you, as well as an S-Mine triggered while standing. Now before continuing, I just know I'll receive a comment or 2 saying, but Tabor, what about if you combine Hunker and the Armored Division's level 4 ability? Unfortunately, this gives you no benefit in regard to explosive damage. I tried all these tests again with both equipped, and the results were still the same. So I wouldn't advise running Hunker with the Armored Division unless you're not up to level 4 yet. So based on all this testing, the Hunker skill is identical to the Armored Division's Flak Jacket ability. This alone makes it incredibly powerful for a basic training skill. As I mentioned, no other basic training skill rivals a Division ability in this game. But that's not all. The Hunker skill still has 2 additional benefits that the Armored Division doesn't even possess itself. The first of these 2 benefits is the early grenade warning indicator. I've had a lot of people ask me what this does, so allow me to show you. This first example is using the Armor Division and not the Hunker skill. There's two indicators when a grenade gets thrown at you. A red indicator, which means move bitch, get out the way, and a white indicator, which means don't come any closer than that. Or more simply put, red means death, white means safety. So I stood as far back as I could and I had him throw a grenade at me. You'll see that as the grenade rolls towards me, the white indicator pops up. If I freeze it right here, this is when the indicator first becomes apparent. Again, this is the standard grenade warning indicator. Now let's swap to the Hunker skill. Knowing that the indicator shows up way earlier, I stood even further back. As the grenade rolled towards me, I backpedaled myself to see the faintest outline I could possibly get, which is right about here. The distance is almost doubled as to when you'll first see that white indicator. Now this clearly isn't very useful to begin with, considering most people cook their grenades anyway, but still, it's a nice bonus to have. Speaking of bonuses, the second benefit to the Hunker skill is the ability to reset a frag grenade's fuse. Now this is a double-edged sword. On the one hand, if an enemy thinks he's being smart by cooking a grenade for a bit, he'll be in for a rude awakening, as the moment you push the pickup button, it no longer will explode in your face. And that's the positive here. The negative, however, is that it throws the grenade back instantly. You yourself can't cook the grenade and serve it back to them. Instead, it instantly throws it. The problem with this is that the enemy can easily move out of the way since the fuse is now reset. So it'll likely roll at their feet, giving them time to move away. Now let's say your enemy cooked a grenade for 2 seconds, threw it at you, and then you threw it back without the Hunker skill. The grenade would more than likely blow up as soon as it gets near your enemy, and then you'd get a kill. With the Hunker perk resetting the fuse in this same example though, the enemy would likely survive. Like I said, it's a double-edged sword. Again though, it is a free bonus after all. And that, as they say, is that. The Hunker basic training skill rivals the Armor Division's flak jacket effect, with the addition of 2 bonuses nonetheless. I've seen so many people complain about the grenade spam in this game, and in particular when it comes to objective game modes such as Domination and Hardpoint. The solution to this is simple. Prestige the Armor Division one time, unlock Hunker, and then use it on your classes in those game modes. Not only do you get the full flak jacket experience, but the early grenade indicator and resetting of the fuse can also come in handy. People need to put down the overused Prime skill, load up Hunker, and enjoy that ever-powerful flak jacket.